welcome to Viewpoint on BCOS TV. My name is Oyeleye Adedotun. My guest on Viewpoint today, he is the Director General of the Development Agenda for Western Nigeria, Dawn Commission. He is Mr. Oyeleye. Mr. Oyeleye, it's good to have you on Viewpoint.
Good afternoon, viewers.
Now, this Dawn Commission, this idea of establishing a commission like this, whose idea is it?
Thank you. Dawn Commission, as you rightly said, is called Development Agenda for Western Nigeria. It's a technocratic institution set up by the 6 states of Western Nigeria to midwife the development, fast-track development. When you're talking of integration of the 6 economies of the Southwest, it was set up basically to midwife that process. You find out that Dawn itself, which started life in BCOS in 2013, but prior to 2013, like 2 or 3 years before 2013, a lot of people had come together to start thinking of the way forward for the region. You could argue that what informed the setting up of Dawn originally was the realization that there has to be another story from the oil story. We realized that all that we were relying on was oil money from Abuja. But the story, we kept telling ourselves that assuming there is no oil tomorrow, are you saying there will be no Western region again? So 2 years, 3 years prior to 2013, a few agates, academicians, businessmen met at different retreats, meetings, symposium, academic papers were submitted on how the 6 states of the region can work together and fast-track development for that region. That was what informed what they came up with, called the Dawn Strategy Roadmap, or Dawn document as we call it here. It was that document that was handed over to the governors in late 2011 as the roadmap for fast-tracking development. And how do you develop? Working together. That was what they bought into. And by 2012, we pronounced that, okay, we've agreed to work together. Let's have a commission. Let's have a body or an institution that will do that for us. Individual states will only think of their states. So the civil servants in Ogun State will only think of Ogun State, or Dito, or Oyo, or Lagos. But the 6 states felt, let's have an independent body that can fast-track that process, that can make sure that process of us working together in another parliament, like a secretariat for us, to make sure that the 6 states are thinking alike, working together, all for the development of the region. And the 6 states includes Lagos. I mean, we've been asked once in a while, is Lagos part of Dawn? I say yes. When we say Western Nigeria or Southwest Nigeria, whichever we call it, it is Lagos, Oyo, Ogun, Oshu, and Ekiti states. I came together and said, we now feel that the best way forward is to harness our resources, think together. Maybe we speak the same language. Our challenges are the same. Our problems are the same. Let us find common solutions. And as I said, we are not reinventing the wheel. It happened in the past. We used to have one big region. Today we have 6 states. Good. We are not going back to region. We are not saying scrap states and have a single region. No. But even in the independence in quotes of our states, there should still be a way of us working together, harnessing our resources for development. That's what brought about Dawn Development Agenda for Western Nigeria.
Talking about Dawn Commission and the idea that you just explained, many people are saying that could it be an APC agenda, more so that Lagos State is now part of the southwestern state that we're talking about.
Thank you. As I said, let me quickly correct the impression. Lagos State started with Dawn Commission from the onset. Lagos only recently joined Oyeleye Investments. Oyeleye is a separate entity from Dawn Commission. So we shouldn't confuse that. Now, coming back to the question of whether it's an APC agenda or a PPP agenda, it has no political colorations. You see, when this story started, this regional integration journey, when we started it in 2010, as I said, a lot of eggheads came together. You'd be surprised, or you'd be glad to know that some of the governors then had nothing to do with APC. In fact, there was no APC in 2010. The idea was, how will Western region make progress? How would we change our story? They wanted them to go and think. So as I said, several retreats. It took about 2.5 years for them to get to 2012, when the Dawn document itself was launched. What I'm trying to say is that those that even started the idea, they had nothing to do with political parties. And when it finally came on board, it so happened that out of the 6 governors then, I think 4 or 5 of them were from the same party. But they all bought into it. Because, as I said, development has only one language. I say it all the time. Development. If I want my schools to be good, or I want to raise the standard of my teachers, it has nothing to do with politics. If you get my point. If Lagos State is doing very well in producing good teachers, Osun wants to copy Lagos. If Osun is feeding the pupils with good food, Lagos wants to find out from Osun, how are you doing yours? It's for the, and as I said, in this region, we say it all the time here at Dawn, our afflictions are the same. The youth unemployment problem that they are facing in Ekiti, or if they have drug abuse problem in Ondo, it's the same thing they are facing in Lagos. So why can't we think holistically, come together as a region to think of proffering solutions to the challenges they were facing? So it has nothing at all to do with politics. And thankfully, our governors and even the civil servants, well, civil servants are not meant to play politics anyway, but our governors, they've keyed into that. So when it comes to matters of regional integration, they'll put their political hats somewhere else and think for the region. And you know, we say it all the time, that we are not reinventing the wheel. This used to be one single region that was run by the likes of Akitola and Oyeleye of those days, as far as present day Asaba in Delta State. Yeah. And they ran it efficiently. We are not going back to states and to regions, but what we are saying is that we can work together. 30-something countries are working together in Europe, and they have different languages. You have the Flemish, you have the French, the Italians, the Spaniards. We speak the same language. So politics has nothing to do with what we do here. It is purely developmental, as the name connotes.
Now, if it's about the people of this region that speak the same language, you know, we have Yorubas outside this region. In North Central, for example, we have the Okun people there. Are you thinking of those people too? After all, they are Yorubas.
Oh, it's a valid question. We get asked that all the time. That what about the Yorubas in Kwara and Kogi?
Yeah,
well, we acknowledge they are Yorubas, but our mandate says Western Nigeria. The political or the map of Nigeria has not yet been redrawn to now bring Kwara, Kogi to become Western Nigeria. So our mandate says Western Nigeria. And don't forget that even as we say Western Nigeria is not just populated by Yoruba people. We have Igbos living here, we have Hausas, Fulanis, they all live here. Our job, and I must get that clear again, is not solely for Yorubas. Our job is for the development of Western Nigeria. So for anyone that comes to live here, they will find it as a progressive region, as a region that is habitable, where you can put down your stall and make profit. Our job, as I said, yes, largely, the largest population here is Yoruba, it's understandable, but ours is for Western region. Our brothers, yes, they are in Kwara and Kogi, but as I said, the political map of Nigeria tells us that Western Nigeria does not extend beyond those 6 states.
Now, Southwest Nigeria is highly sophisticated. We have well-educated people in this south side of the country. well-traveled people. And you keep referring to the days of Obafemi Awolowo and Akintola. Yes, those men really did great things in the Southwest. Even the Cocoa House where we are presently was built by them.
Absolutely.
But then, are we not living on past glory when we look at the Southwest now?
No,
talking in terms of development.
No, one thing you must give our present political leaders is, in spite and despite the challenges that we face today, you see, when we look at the Awolowo-Akintola era, the structure of Nigeria was totally different in those days. Then, if they earned £10 in this region, they only remitted a tiny part of that £10 goes to the center. The bulk of the money stayed in the region in those days. The reverse is the case today. We can sit here all day long and blame our political leaders in the states that, oh, they are not doing enough, this is not happening, that is not happening. But look at the present realities. The federal is taking in about 52% of our revenue. The state's taking about 22%. Look at the number of schools that Oyo State, as an example, has to maintain. Primary and secondary schools. Tell me, how many schools does the federal government have to maintain? You see, it's easy to say, oh, things are not moving as fast as they should. But how much revenue goes to the states? You might say, oh, but the ones that come in here, they are spreading it thin. So you collect 100 million, but you have 10 million mouths to feed. That 100 million, maybe if the constitution is written differently, they should be collecting 1 billion, not 100 million. Let me give you an example, and it might sound controversial here, that you have, take VAT as an example. Okay. Some of the highest, the states that contribute the most in VAT, they are here in southwest Nigeria. But all the VAT is put together in a single pot in Abuja. Then they start sharing it. So, look at the irony. Here they drink alcohol in this part of Nigeria. They collect a lot of VAT on alcohol. You take all the VAT, you take it to Abuja. Then you share it among states where if you drink alcohol, they can chop off your hand. Where's the equity there? What I'm trying to say is that the states here, within the means of what they are earning and what they are able to earn constitutionally, you must give it to them. Yes, things could be better, things could have been better, but I then argue as well that, you see, the era between 1967 and 1998, when we had largely military government, it also stunted our growth as a people. Well, I will talk about Western Nigeria. It stunted our growth. Military men by training are not meant to be administrators. So the challenges we had between 67, when we started having military governments, up until 1999, apart from the 4-year period of 79 to 83, you can also see that as a major factor. Now you might then want to argue that, okay, we've had unbroken civilian government since 1999, 18 years ago. Let's look at Oyo State where we are. You can't tell me this was how Oyo State was 19 years ago. There has been pockets of development here and there within the means, within what they are earning. So you find that a governor might have all these grandiose ideas of what he wants to do, but what hampers a lot of them, and so, I mean, we work closely with the states. A lot of them are hampered. I say that all the time. They are hampered. A governor thinks he wants to construct 400 roads at the same time, but he realizes that he needs to also pay workers. The income and the expenditure, the gap is becoming too wide. So no, I think so within the means of what they are earning, they've tried.
If I get you right, you are an advocate of restructuring, because all these money accruing to common purse now being shared, that's what the restructuring thing is all about.
It's part of it. I mean, again, unless we want to, we want to continue to live a lie, keep lying to ourselves. The present structure we have is not equitable. The present structure we're operating is not working. You see, there are no two ways about it. We call ourselves Federal Republic of Nigeria. Are we truly federal? In name, we're federal. But trust me, a lot of our actions shows we are a unitary state running a unitary system. And that cannot be, that can easily be traced to the authors of the Constitution. Even though the Constitution says we the people, it wasn't the people, it was the military that wrote the Constitution. The training of the military man, every military man, is the command and obey. Command from up and everybody follows. So what we have at the moment is everything is centered in Abuja. The full power is in Abuja. So Abuja has Minister of Agriculture. The federal government has no land in the real sense. Why should there be Minister of Agriculture? If you get my points, you have Minister of Power. The Minister of Power should not be telling me where power should be in my state. But thankfully that's even changed now in recent times. But what I'm just trying to say is that the structure needs to change if we want to develop fast. As long as every month we keep going to Abuja to collect money in what I call Almajiri economics, where every month you go and collect my own share. All we do is we share. We share. Then it will continue to stunt development. As I say it all the time. Look, what stops the 6 states of this region having railway connecting them? You'll be surprised that there are laws in this country that has not been repealed that will prevent an Oyo constructing a proper rail. I'm not going to lie to you. The proper rail to Lagos or to Ogun. They will still have to go to federal. You hear of this right of way and all this stuff. We see we have so many things that are on what we call the exclusive list that is antithetical to development. And until we restructure, and I say it again, why should the federal government be sitting on 52% of our budget? That's one example of our income. Why should the federal